Hey, y'all, I'm Andrew Gautreaux, and I came on the Wolf's Den podcast today to talk about my story, how I went from sobriety to success. I'm also a host of a local podcast called the Louisiana Legends Podcast. I hope y'all enjoy it. Check it out.
I got hella problems. Don't need no shovel, handle dirt with choppers. You get your issues, try killing me. Eliminate all contenders, talk about ending me. Got Glocks and Drakes, some bullets sped out 'em. Yeah, the mortician can't get the lead.
Welcome back to the Den, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Andrew Gautreaux, entrepreneur. Welcome to the Wolf Den, my
Thank
guy.
you, man. Thank y'all for having me.
So, Andrew got a few things going on right now. Let's before we even get into what you got going on, let's go ahead and start from the beginning, where this all started about you becoming an entrepreneur.
Well, so my dad is probably where it started. My dad, he's got his own company. He's Go Enterprise. He does pumps and mechanical seals. And so when I was like probably a teenager, he got out the plants and started that. And like from our garage and into what he's got now, he's got his own company, own building, own pump shop. So I probably get the entrepreneurship from him.
You just kind of like watched him all your life, kind of grinding and hustling. And
Yeah,
growing
I
it.
mean, still to this day, he works probably 80 hours a week. Just one of those guys. He can't see anybody else working and not jump in. So,
Right.
Yeah. So if I had to say, I probably get it from him. Yeah.
So, what is your endeavors right now? Exactly everything.
So we just started. Me and my brother just started a podcast, Louisiana Legends. We just did our first interview last week, and that's kind of the focus right now. I got a shirt company, Tatted Bad clothing line that I've been doing for about 3 or 4 years. I do custom shirts. Just kind of. I've always tried to have some kind of side hustle to my 9 to 5 job.
So, what is y'all podcast going to be based on?
So the idea is people from Louisiana, people with cool stories, from whether it's from musicians to, you know, people. We got a guy coming that did 30 years in Angola on death row. We've got all kind of different people. That's kind of me and him both come from a past of addiction, so we like to do the stuff dealing with that as far as whether it's jail stuff or people who kind of had to rebuild their life, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is so you want to speak on that, kind of like what kind of like what you had to deal with and how you kind of beat those struggles and to get to where you at today?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been between Gonzales and Baton Rouge my whole life, but I started drinking and using drugs from a young age, and it led to, you know, probably when I was about 21, 22, I was actually I was in Angola working as a CO. Well, I trained there. So I trained in Angola and then I went to Hunts. And while I was working there, I got arrested in 2 or 3 different drug busts. Did the whole treatment thing, and I started going in and out of jail and in and out of treatments for about 10 years. Got sober about 9 years ago, a little over 9 years ago. And one of the big things, and that's kind of why our focus, we want to try to talk to guys that interview guys that come from that also. Because that was one of the main things that when I was in jail, one of the last times they had some guys come in, kind of same thing, man. They had been where I was at, and they spoke to me and some other guys in there, and when I got sober, probably for the last 7 years, we've been going to Angola and speaking to guys. We've been on death row speaking to guys, and so I think it kind of gave me a passion for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever whenever y'all go to let me take a step back. So whenever you was busting in a drug bust and all, I'm guessing like you was like kind of like peddling some stuff into the inmates or something, or
No. So I was only working there for probably 6 months, and the whole time, and what happened was, my grandma, she had got me the job there. And at this time, I'm like working in, you know, restaurant jobs, little just whatever to make some money, you know, and she was like, hey, I got this opportunity if you want a job at, you know, being a corrections officer. And I couldn't tell my grandma no, but I was, you know, I was getting high the whole time. Um, and so what happens, I go through the training at Angola. They do like you got to do like a whole month-long training thing. You know, they pepper spray you. They do all you know, kind of get you ready for the job, I guess, as much as you can. And so I do all that, and then I go to work at Hunt's, and probably like a month into working there, I had got off work. I was still in my uniform from work, and I went to my friend's house, you know, to score, and I'm sitting up there, and the next thing I know, the door gets kicked in, and the whole SWAT team's coming in, and of course they see me in my uniform, and they're like, "What are you doing here, man?" I was like, you know, and so I like go to work Monday after that, and I'm thinking like they already, you know, but
Oh, they
for
definitely
whatever,
heard. They definitely heard.
but for whatever reason they never called. They never told them. So I keep working, and to get to your question, because that was, you know, that's the thing. Like I know if I would have kept working there, I would have, because it's an easy way to make money.
Yeah.
But no, I never brought anything in, and what happened, I got arrested another time after that, and I think like 2 weeks after that, I just went in and quit, because that was, you know, that was the whole deal. Is like, you know, going in there, whether I was still, you know, drunk or whatever from the night before, and going to work, and like it was, you know, like I knew the inmates knew what was going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
That's crazy. It took that long for before. You must have been thinking the whole time you're there, like, oh shit, I'm fixing to be thrown in this bitch. Like,
well, and that's the thing, dude.
I was thinking like,
fuck, I'd have been bailed out. I'd have been like, yeah.
Well, I was thinking did this dude is the one that gave Freeze some shit?
That's crazy. Yeah, like fuck. You must have been thinking like, damn, fuck. Do they know? But,
Right.
like,
Well, and that's the thing, and I know the inmates knew, you know, and especially because I had been to jail before that. I had got arrested on like a little weed charge and spent the night in jail, but I had never really done any time, and so now that I've done time and, you know, and been on that both sides of it, that was probably the most miserable, more miserable than, I mean, not doing time obviously, but I think just because I was trying to fool everybody, like I was trying to fool the other COs and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a very like isolating feeling, and
it probably had to feel pretty bad too, because you had kind of like that family tied to it, because you had a family.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, you at that point you're like, damn, I just let one of the people that was close to me down, you know.
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's the whole deal, and so I'm going to work every day with like fake piss in my pants, and
Just in
you know,
case, yeah.
like I had to do that a couple times. I had to because I got, you know, you get drug tested for the job.
Like what? Like 80 to 90% of the dudes that work in a plant in Louisiana.
Right.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah. But
Crazy.
but no, it was it sucked, man. You know, just the stress from that like whole 6 months when I was doing, because I mean I would leave work and I'm, you know, getting high or you know, drug deals or whatever. You know, that was just every day, and so to wake up in the morning and go to work in a place that puts people away for the stuff I was doing at night, you know, it was a wild time for real.
So for the long stretch of time that you did do in jail, or I don't know how much time you did, but was that after you quit the job? Is when it okay.
So I would like, how was that experience? Like, did the other inmates know, like, did you get that kickback of, oh, this dude's a cop?
Well, and that was the thing too. So I started getting arrested, you know, obviously my drug use and all that spiraled way more after that, because it was another 10 years before I got sober, and you know, I would do 6 months here, 6 months there. I did 2 years in a so for my, I had a couple felonies, and when I went to jail, the judge offered me a place called Centacor. It was in Baton Rouge, right off of College. but it was like a 2-year, basically a work release. You know, I would go, and that was crazy because when I was driving here today, because we used to work at Bollinger Shipyard, and that was the whole deal. Like you did 2 years at this place, and you know, I was looking at some time, and the deal is you do 2 years here, and then they drop your charges. You know, so I did the 2 years there, and but that's what we do. They put us in plant jobs, building scaffolds, or you know, out at the Bollinger Shipyard, building whatever, and they keep all the money. That's why they're not there anymore.
I'm about to say that.
They have all the money.
What Bollinger must. That's how they got so rich, huh? They paying
dude.
cents on the dollar to all their workers.
But there's no tell. Yeah, there's no telling
I
how
mean,
much.
they also make a lot of money.
Yeah. But that's and funny thing is, because when I got sober this time, I had because there was a big class action lawsuit, and the lawyer called me up because you know I worked for 2 years for nothing, for free, you know, and that's why they shut that place down. And but he called me.
What place they shut down?
Cinecor.
Oh, that place.
Yeah, they had one in Baton Rouge, is the one I went to, and I think there was 2 in Texas, like Deer Park and somewhere else. But yeah, the one I went, it's all shut down now. But they had a big class action lawsuit, but they called me and they were like, "Hey, you know," asking me like what years I was there, because I think I was there from like 2010 to 2012 or something like that. And they were like, "Oh man, the cutoff is like 13." I wasn't able to get it.
Yeah, I do. That's how it always works. Like anytime there's anything going on, like what that was not that long ago. It wasn't the AT&T data breach. It was the Adobe Adobe canceling the memberships. Well, they screwed me a couple times, and like I had to cancel one membership because it was combining my businesses, and to put like the Adobe on everything, and not having them all separated between accounts and stuff. Well, I had to cancel one of my memberships early, and they charged me like $300 something, and then they made it like impossible to cancel. I had to call somebody, tell them the scenario. They still charged me. And
No, speaking of,
I went try to get the money back or whatever, and then they was like, "Oh, sorry, you don't qualify for this lawsuit." I was like, "Of course I don't."
look, I'm gonna say it right now. You know what the biggest fucking scam? And I still got a membership because these assholes won't cancel it. Planet Fitness, bro.
I was about to say.
Oh, yeah.
Planet Fitness is
Yeah, but they should have made things.
They make you go in
You
there.
gotta go in there and
Yeah,
raise
you gotta
hell.
go
'Cause
in.
Planet
yeah, but
Fitness
listen, they
got
won't even
sued for
let you
some stuff
cancel
like
it when
that.
you go in. They want you to write a letter and all this. Oh, man, fuck all that. I'm not
No,
writing no
They just
letter.
got
Yeah,
sued for that.
No,
because
they
made
came
it
out
too
with
hard.
It's still a thing now.
they came out with a law that you have to be able to offer one click to cancel memberships of things. Like
Because
that's
of
a
that
new
stuff.
Yeah, because of that stuff. That's like, at least that's what they should be doing. I mean, are they following
No,
it?
they
sure
ain't
they
doing
find
it. No,
some
they're
way to
not
make it-
following it.
Yeah, I'm
Because,
sure they
dude,
find some way
like
to
I
keep it
said, when I tried to
difficult.
cancel, I think I'm still paying that shit.
Oh, dude, and they'll follow. Planet Fitness will follow you like through bank accounts, because they did that to me for years too. Like I got whole different bank accounts, and somehow they were still pulling that $9.99.
What?
Yeah, bro, they don't.
Dude,
play.
it's crazy.
Dude,
Yes, I'm
that
telling you,
feels
it's like the biggest.
illegal.
It's like the biggest scam. dude.
That feels illegal as
Y'all
hell.
thought it was good to trust the gym with the pizza parties and everything?
Yeah.
Y'all
Fuck,
thought that
what are
was
you
going to
talking
be a
about?
good
Pizza
idea?
party? We never got a pizza party.
They got like a pizza station at Planet Fitness. At
Oh,
least at the
right.
big
Not
ones.
when
I don't know if they
there.
have it
Not-
down
not when
here.
I was there.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen
I never
pizza
worked
there.
out at a Planet Fitness, so
That must be
I
when
can
Nick's
tell.
working out.
Okay.
Nick's getting the
I
pizza
learned-
party.
I learned
walked into that one.
I don't know. I never
That's
worked
why
out.
he's too
I
much
don't know
behind
if
the
Nick's working out.
No, that's why he's behind the competition.
Right.
Fuck, he just goes for the. I'm just here for the pizza.
You walked into that one, man.
Lost family, yeah.
It's crazy.
How that goes?
Oh, sir, would you
The-
like
the
our
joke just write
massage
themselves.
membership, or would you like the tanning? No, I'm just here for the pizza. Pepperoni and cheese, please.
And Austin's mom.
Look, go ahead, bro. Whatever.
I only ever had one of those lawsuits work out in my favor, and it was from Abercrombie and Fitch because I worked there in high school for like a month, and I think I got like $50 off of it. They sued because they made you buy your uniforms like from Abercrombie, but it could only be certain ones, and they tripled. Oh, you get a discount, but it was like quadruple the price. for that
Duncan
stuff.
looks like he'll work at Abercrombie and Fitch.
I did when I was younger, and I had them abs going, man. Not so much today, though.
Slicked hair back, looking like you're in the mafia or something. That's funny.
Today's episode is brought to you by Patriot Crane Rentals. Do you have a task or job site that needs to get to new heights? We can help you with that. Call us at 985-223-3388. Remember, guys, at Patriot Crane Rentals, we lift heavy.
So now that you how's life now that you're sober and you ain't using drugs? Is it as fun as it was whenever you was using drugs, or?
Well, and that's the whole thing, man, because I think that's why it took me so long.
I was like,
What a
hold on.
crazy question.
Did you just ask him if his life's better out of prison than not? I mean,
No, it is, man, and but and I think that's a lot of people that come from that past. It is, and it's a hard part of getting sober. It's, because as crazy as it was, in and out of jails, and I mean, I was homeless at the end of it, and sleeping out of cars and random people's houses or whatever. There was like some excitement, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and so and that was the thing, getting, especially when you're first getting sober, it was like I gotta sit in here and like drink this terrible coffee and like talk about my feelings to people and shit, but I had no idea. I had no idea what my life could look like, and the longer I've been sober, it's, because we talked about that podcast, and I was thinking about this too on the way. I worked for my dad when I was using and stuff too, and one of the last times I was in my dad's, he's got a pump shop. And one of the last times I was there, I had stole some checks and all that, and he had called me one night and he's like, "Man, if you want to come make a few bucks, I got some work for you." And I went. Well, I'm in there in the back of the shop doing some work, and a cop walks in, and he's like, "Hey, come talk to me." And so I did, and of course, it was a whole setup, and that was. I didn't get sober right after that, but that was one of the big kind of turning points, because my mom and my dad kind of enabled, whatever you want to call it, for a while, and I talked to them about it after I got sober, but that was their whole thing, like, because my mom used to lie to the cops for me, you know what I mean? They would show up to the house looking for me, and she would tell them she hadn't seen me or whatever, and but they thought I would be safer in jail, than what I was doing. And it's crazy now, that little podcast we started is at my dad's. We rent out one of those offices, and we built a little studio, and it's crazy, man.
No, that is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, that's wild. I mean, what did they tell you? Like, how did they even figure it out? Like, you ain't trying to cash the checks or something, and they caught you on camera?
No, well, so a cop, he walks in and they got a printout from the bank of every check, and it's a couple pages.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for a little while, because at the time, my brother's sober too. He's got about 5 or 6 years, and so I don't know if he was in a treatment center or what, but it was just me and my dad at the shop at the time, working. So I was, I would still check here and there, and then
Like just write one out for yourself.
yeah,
or
right
something.
one out
Okay,
for
okay,
myself. And so he had, I guess when they finally figured out what was going on, they went to the bank and they just got a printout. So the cop walks in with this printed out, of all the checks I had stolen and all that.
I was
And-
like, fuck. Was that after all the first prison shit?
that was after working at the prison.
Oh no, but so this is kind of what you did the time for. That was,
I did time for that.
Oh,
Well, and so what happens at the end is they used to always try to give me like pretrial intervention type stuff, and so my mom, growing up, my mom was a social worker in child services, so she knew a lot of the judges because she had been in front of them, her whole life doing that. So of course, like, I got every chance, in the world, and
Right.
for a little while, but I ran out of those long before I got sober, so I started having to, do time, 6 months here, 6 months there. I did 2 years at Centacor. And I was in between that, I'm just kind of going in and out of rehabs and detox centers. And, but what happened at the end, and then it was like when the flood hit in 2016. So I was like on the run. I had this like bright idea. I was going to drive to California and like just start over out there. So I got all drunk and high one night, and I just started driving. And my mom finally got me on the phone, and she was like, "Look, you need to come turn yourself in." So I turned around. I think I was in like Flagstaff, Arizona. So I turn around, I come back, I turn myself in, and I'm thinking like, well, I'm gonna get a bond. I'm gonna get out. Somebody will come by me. I'll get, I'll spit some game to somebody to come get me out of here. I turned myself in on like a Tuesday, and I think the flood happened like that Thursday. So like everything in Ascension Parish is shut down. The courthouse is shut down. I was in Donaldsonville at the jail, so I can't get in front of a judge, nothing. And on top of that, I had missed so many court dates, they put a hold on me. So even if there was a bond or the courthouse opened, they weren't letting me out. And so fine, I think it was like 3 months later, I got in front of a judge, and this was like the hardest jail time I'd ever done. Like they put me in the federal dorm.
You in D-Ville.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know. I still think it's crazy. Move to, obviously wasn't thinking clear to move to California to start over because that's like the most expensive fucking place.
Well,
It's like, look, I got $20, but it's $21 for a gallon of gas.
Well, no, I mean, that's what a lot of people, like you say California, but a lot of people do that and they go to Hawaii just to be homeless.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Hawaii's.
Very,
If
very
I had to
common.
be homeless anywhere, I want to be homeless in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
you just kick it on the beach. That's what
Oh,
most
yeah.
people do out there. Actually, there's a lot of states that'll send their homeless one-way tickets to Hawaii just to get them out.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck.
That's kind of crazy.
You got to make it
Oh, you
there
never heard of that
first.
before?
I mean,
They
you
do that
gotta
all the
I
time.
mean,
I didn't
Yeah.
realize they do that.
Very, very common.
damn, I didn't know that.
They never offered me that.
That's fucked
He's
up.
like, fuck. I know
No,
where I would be
bro.
right now if they did.
I was just like, best I had when I was homeless was just like my little Honda Civic in a Walmart parking lot, in the middle of summer.
They didn't have offer me that.
That's why you walk through Waikiki and there's like 1,000 homeless people asking
there
for
is a
money
lot
because
of
they get it.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
That is crazy. Damn, man. That's a wild shit. You must have got to a certain point like, damn, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, dude, and that was the thing because
You already made it that far. I wouldn't even turn around.
Well, I was
Fuck
about to
that.
say,
You
Arizona, that's a
committed.
good clip to be like, okay, mom, I'm just going to
Yeah,
come
I'ma
back.
just turn
I'm going to turn
around.
around. Fuck.
Well, and so this is what I had met a guy in a rehab, my friend Dan, and he had moved out there and got sober, and so I was like, well, shit, I'm just go, And he told me, he's like, man, you get out here, I'll help you out, whatever. But I knew like eventually I'd have to come back and face everything, and that was like, my mom, she passed away a couple years ago, but that was always like, if she could get me on the phone, you know what I mean. And that's what happened. And I turned around and because I always wanted to get sober. I didn't want to keep doing what I was doing. I just couldn't.
Yeah, you get to a point where you get tired. And
Yeah, man. I just couldn't not keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, where, shoot. Trying to think of where I want to go next with it.
So you get tired. It made me think of what our other guest, Hick, said. He was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, you get to a point where you're just like, damn, man, we got to change this up. Obviously, it ain't working.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I mean, damn, that's some crazy shit, though.
Do you plan on like kind of like instilling a lot of this like advice and stuff to the people that are going to come on your podcast?
A lot of that's what, and like I said, like one of the guys and I've been talking to him. I can't really talk too much about it, but he just got out of Angola for a murder he didn't do. He did like 30-something years on death row, and they finally
Figured out, do that.
Yeah, man. And
That's,
like,
what
and
I
look,
said-
those always blow my mind.
Yeah, because well, I'm guessing it was probably some type of DNA bullshit that they finally figured
it
out.
wasn't even that, dude. It was in his case, it was the DA, and they did some dirty stuff to put this on
Well,
him.
even that though,
Yeah.
but like you made a comment earlier how your parents said like, oh, they just figured out be safer in jail, whatever. I don't necessarily agree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Right.
I seen cases. I think I actually seen it happened on a documentary not that long ago that I watched, and they like sent their son or whatever to jail, and then he ended up getting like stabbed to death like 2 or
Mhm.
3 days later. So I guess like it's just like if your son is a pansy, don't fucking
Yeah,
don't.
man, and-
I guess it's case scenario, certain scenario,
Well,
right?
and that's
It's like the movie. You got to check the biggest motherfucker.
Yeah, like, right, like, little kid just punch her in the fucking throat or something.
I mean, it
Well-
might work out. It might not.
well, and that's true, man. I mean, I've been in there with some people that didn't need to be in there, and but it is, man. It's I don't know if that's the bet, but for me, like, because I was doing opiates, and so I started overdosing a bunch, and if I wasn't in and out of jail, I was in and out of the hospital. Especially at the end, I had to relearn how to walk and all kind of stuff.
Damn,
Yeah, and
from being on opiates so bad.
well, I overdosed, and I was out so long that
The oxygen
Yeah.
flow. Yeah. Seizure.
Wait, how long were you like you was like
I'm not sure how long because I woke up in a hospital like a day or two later. But yeah, I had gone and meet the guy, and it was crazy how it happened. And I still never got to meet the lady, but it was like I was in like a parking lot of like a Dollar General. So I meet the guy, I do what I do, and I don't remember anything, But from what I've been told, she saw me like slumping over in the car, and so like she pulled me out the car and did CPR until the EMS got there, and like had she not done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But stuff like that just kept happening. So for me, it was definitely probably a better idea for me to be in jail than to do what I was doing, and so yeah, but no. I don't think everyone should just be thrown in jail.
That's
Well,
crazy.
no, well-
Shout out Dollar General.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well-
Well, that's like always the spot too. Can you imagine Dollar General's like, fuck, the only publicity we get is either people shoplift from us or OD in our parking lots.
saving lives, one life.
I feel like if you're Dollar General or like Walmart,
Yeah,
though,
you
like,
just accept
you
it like
yeah.
no bad publicity. No publicity is bad publicity. Fuck.
at least we know somebody's getting groceries from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll
fuck.
save
I
you.
bet you Dollar General's gonna start stocking Narcan.
Well, that's why they
They
probably.
probably got like a fucking Redbox DVD dispenser with Narcan,
Narcan.
where you can just go grab it.
The other day
Redbox,
we had
there's
to
a
get
deep
like
cut.
91% alcohol or whatever for some stuff we are doing for the 3D printing.
Yeah.
And I grabbed like 13 bottles. And everybody in the store that was like around me was looking at me like, what the fuck is this dude doing with 13 bottles of alcohol?
Yeah.
And I
Bro,
was
I thought you were gonna cook meth.
yeah, I mean, do you use alcohol for that?
I don't fucking know.
I mean,
Don't do
think,
meth.
I don't think so. I mean, but
I thought that was
over
like
there,
Sudafed or something.
Fuck.
yeah, Doug, I was about to say Duncan's over there like,
I
I
watched-
know the ingredient.
I watched Breaking Bad, man. I'm not I'm not that hardcore.
Yeah. I only cooked it like once or twice.
So Angola though, like they got the rodeo, right?
They do the rodeo,
Did you have any
No, that's
involvement
only
with that?
the most
or-
important thing that Angola does do.
which is bro, and so I was never like when I was working there or training there, was only for like a month period, and it wasn't during like the rodeo season. But when we started going into Angola, so for like 25 years, they would only let like certain because it was depending on who the warden was. So they had a warden that didn't let a lot of people come in from the outside, only like certain like churches and stuff. But so when we started going back in and meeting the guys and it's because I had been at a rodeo before that, but then like meeting them and like knowing them, and like I went to the rodeo once after meeting all these guys, and we like left in the middle because it was messed up, man. Like, I understand like these people are in there and what maybe they did what they're in there for, maybe they didn't, whatever. But
What was
to put on like a show about it, you know what I mean? It's hard to watch,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I've been to Angola rodeo a few times. I see what you're saying. Like, kind of like whenever like they all in the cage and like they all like trying to like throw their tickets out. Like, you like that, like those type of scenarios.
Right.
When
And then they do like the card where they sit at the card table and they let the bull out and it just like
Yeah, but
them
don't
dudes,
they get paid?
They get paid.
they get like $50, man.
But that goes a long way.
It does.
That goes a long.
No, and it's also
What
the
about
dudes.
what about the one that whenever they do whenever they do that horn, the bull with the red horns or orange
Yeah.
horns, and then if you get that ticket, ain't that one like I'm pretty sure like 500 or something
It's
like that?
I don't know a number amount, but it's definitely more. But man, them dudes get messed up doing that stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Shit, I guess you're right. At the end of the day, they really are like humans.
Well,
and
it's not
some
only
of them-
that, but they're making, millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
but I mean, if you
off
think
of
about it, I guess it gives them a change of scenery out of the four walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, and I'm
same.
not saying there's
Yeah.
dudes that don't enjoy it,
I think a lot of the dudes
yeah.
actually in there do enjoy it
Mhm.
just because it gives them something
Well, and
else.
it's cool because that's why, like, we went for, like, the crafts and stuff. Because,
Yeah.
dude, them, I mean.
They're talented guys. They
bro,
Oh,
should-
some- like,
look.
I got a couple paintings hanging in my house right now from dudes in
Mhm.
there. And, like, and they'll make, like, custom guitars and,
Mhm.
But a barbecue pit,
Chairs.
the,
Oh,
the
yeah, dude.
benches, the chairs. I got a one I just bought was that wagon wheel
oh yeah.
bench. It's like a little
Mhm.
rocker. Pretty badass.
I
I
didn't
got a
know they
few
do
things.
all that.
Yeah, I got
I've
a-
never actually seen it. I didn't hear about that existing till I came down here. Nobody outside of Louisiana knows that that's
Well, look,
a
what's
thing.
crazy is most of
Yeah.
your fundraisers around here that have these auctions and stuff.
Oh, that, a lot
Most of the
them get them
stuff comes
them.
from Angola. So,
Yeah.
Really?
like, yeah, I mean, all the fairs around here. I mean, every function that we do, that's where they go mass buy like a bunch of stuff that the prisoners make, and they auction it off.
Oh, dude, if you see a rocking chair
Oh yeah, it's
on
Angola.
on a porch anywhere around, there's probably like a 50% chance it's from there.
President made it probably.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just saw them talking about it on Joe Rogan last week. Other than that, I heard Freezer Burn talk about it for like 2 minutes
They
here.
were talking about the Angola rodeo.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier was on there. So he talked about that and he talked about the boxing.
Yeah, the
at
boxing.
Angola.
Yeah.
Wait, they got a boxing event in
They got
Angola?
boxing
Mhm.
league in the
What?
prisons.
I didn't know
What?
that.
I did
Mhm.
not know that.
Dude, they'll
Freezer Burn talked about that when he was on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, but I know, I know he talked a little bit, but I didn't know at Angola. It was a
like
thing.
that, like talk about like serious like that.
dude, they got a dude from Angola.
I
That
thought
got
Fraser Brown was
out.
honestly talking shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No,
Well,
dude.
I mean, like I said, Poirier brought it up and like Joe Rogan's mind was blown about it. So it
Yeah.
just made,
They got a
that's
dude
only
that
the
got
time I
out
heard
of
about it.
Angola and fought Mike Tyson, I think, back in the day, and
Mhm.
got it. Yeah, and they'll because when I was working at Hunts, they got fighters there too, and they'll go to the different prisons and fight each other.
That's crazy.
Oh, dude, we've gone up there a couple times just to talk to the guys, and it'd be like a fight night, and they had like the ring set up in the chow hall, and like it's a whole thing.
They bet on them and stuff, and
I would if I was them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
shit.
bet in like ramen packets and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
you
I
know?
don't think they put it on FanDuel, but
That'd be badass.
That's
though.
crazy.
That'd be badass if they
I
did.
bet you that new, what is it, Kalshi
Yeah,
app they got out?
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
you probably
I
could.
bet they got it.
Khaleesi or whatever. I don't know.
Khaleesi.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's a Game of Thrones
Kashi,
thing now.
Kashi.
Kashi.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy though. I didn't realize they was doing that. That reminds me of like the longest yard. Soon they could be having prison leagues for football games and stuff.
Yeah.
Going against the
Against
wardens
the
and
guards.
stuff. And the guards.
Dude, that is crazy.
All of a sudden, you just see Adam Sandler in every single prison.
Mhm.
Come try your chance in the longest yard. Oh, that's good shit.
Oh man.
Oh, so how did y'all first podcast go?
It went really good. We, I mean, besides me not pressing record on like the audio in the first like 5 minutes of the episode, so I had to like restart. But it was cool, man, and it's really crazy because like I went on another podcast a couple months ago, and similar thing. His was more like kind of what the direction we're trying to like move into if we had to pick one. But he interviews a lot of people in jail and stuff like that, or that have passed in that like world.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool because kind of like coming here, like he showed me his whole studio, and like it was cool because I just like randomly emailed this dude, and he was like, "Yeah, come out and be on." And I guess I never realized like how accessible it was,
Mm-hmm.
And then like I watched y'all's stuff. Friend of mine told me about y'all, and it's like I think it's really cool what y'all are trying to do is like bring something like that here.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Who had told you it was in the Colin?
I think it was Colin.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin hit me up. Colin hit me up.
Yeah.
Colin's actually I just went on a bachelor's trip with Colin. Colin, that dude there, boy, that's a funny
Oh, he's
dude,
wild.
bro.
Yeah.
That's a funny dude. You got any questions? I'm kind of
No, so I got a couple questions. So, I mean, we kind of talked about where does the T-shirt brand fall into, like, the clothing line fall into the story? Like, was that right after, or you kind of just recently? I know you said a couple
So-
of years, but
It's about 3 or 4 years, maybe probably closer to 3 years. But what happened and how I got the name Tatted Bad is a friend of mine. We both got sober together. Um, he had like, and it's kind of comes from like because you get like a tattoo in jail, or like you see a dude get a tattoo in jail, and if they don't have like a bunch or whatever, they get one or two, and they're like, oh, you tatted bad now. And so when I got out and got sober, a friend of mine I got sober with, we all got these matching tattoos. We had like a group chat called the Sickest, and so we all got matching tattoos. And so I used to tell him that I was like, "You tatted bad now," and it just kind of catch on. It caught on, and we would just say that to each other. And probably I think it was right around COVID. Man, I was stuck in the house, and I was like, I want to do something. Like I'd always like design stuff, and I was like, I want to try to make some shirts. And my wife at the time, she bought me like a shirt press, and I just started making designs and started making shirts, and it kind of caught on in my friend group, and I went from that to like a little website, and it's still something I do on the side, and went from the brand to also doing like custom shirts for businesses and stuff like that. Um, but that's kind of how it started, I guess, was just cutting up with one of my friends. And yeah, it was cool because I actually sent him, and he passed away a couple years ago, but I'd sent him like a couple shirts, and so yeah.
What what are like how many shirts right now are y'all like doing? Like is that like just like a side hustle kind of deal just to kind of keep it on, or y'all
Yeah,
like who y'all getting these shirts out? Or y'all just selling them online, or
I sell them online. I mean, I always keep some with me, if I'm somewhere, and I guess more word of mouth. But I do have a website, and people can go to and order stuff. We probably have about 10 to 15 different kind of styles, shirts, and do some hoodies and some hats and stuff. I've been getting more into the hat stuff lately, because that's a whole nother, just kind of like anything, man. I had to learn how to do it all, and so it's been cool. I apologize to anybody that bought a shirt for me like that first 6 months, dude. Them things look terrible.
well, no, I mean you gotta learn
Yeah.
in one way or another.
Yeah.
So shoot, I want to see how you I don't know how I want to frame this question right here about the clothing logo. Go ahead. Let me think about how I want to ask that question.
So on the whole, I guess, shirt thing, y'all manufacturing everything in house, or y'all
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do it all. I got a spare bedroom at my house I do it out of, and
Is it still? I mean, I know you said one of your friends, buddies that helped you start it. I know he passed away, but
yeah.
is there anybody else involved, or is it kind of just a one man deal right now?
It's really just me. Like I'll if I get big orders, I'll get some help from
Yeah.
my brother or somebody. But yeah, right now it's really just me doing it.
What's the website name?
Tatted Bad. And I'll send you a link to it. It's Shopify.
Okay.
So I do everything through them.
Like it's just tattedbad.com though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how y'all getting the word out? Like, who's buying from y'all?
A lot of it was just people like that I had got sober with, and my friend group, and they started buying it and wearing it around, and so like other people would ask, and then really probably more, I guess more money is in the custom shirt stuff. So anytime I'll just reach out to companies and say, hey man, who's making y'all shirts or whatever, and kind of do it like that. I've got to make some shirts for LSU for some different stuff. They set me up as a vendor, and yeah, I just kind of network it.
What you doing? Just screen printing or screen
I do
pressing it?
DTF transfers. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So a screen print is like paint,
Mhm.
and a transfer is like they print it on a printer
Okay.
onto like a film, and then you transfer that to the shirt. It lasts a lot longer. It's a lot less messy. The shirt will fall apart before the design does.
Watch the next time I go to Angola Roto, everybody's gonna have his shirt on. He's got like the whole prison.
I just sneak a couple in every time.
That'd be cool. Yeah, just sneak them in.
Well, you'd be like, that's what you'd be like Kanye. What he did, he went donate like I want to say like the rest of his stock that he made for Yeezy.
Yeah.
He just
all the shoes and shit.
Yeah, like he just went donated to all the homeless people in Los Angeles.
Dude, that's crazy.
And,
And
like,
they're
he
just
just
all wearing
It's fucking
Yeezys.
people
Yeah,
wearing the most
dude.
expensive shoes, but ain't got
Well,
nothing.
I mean, they weren't expensive because technically he put everything on his website to make it to where everybody can afford it, and the way that he pushed it.
Yeah,
was
but
he
weren't
would
those
give all
going
the
out for
homeless
like
people.
thousands of
Yeah,
dollars to
first.
begin with?
Yeah,
Oh,
first.
okay.
It's just weird. 'cause
I
some
know
of those
if I
shoes and
was
stuff he
homeless,
dropping are
though,
ugly as hell.
I would sell them if I was homeless and I got some Yeezys.
What you mean?
Oh, I would sell them like immediately.
Yeah, straight up. Like,
Yeah, but like you could go online and get them for literally $20 off his website now. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
oh, because he flooded the market with them.
Yeah, that was the point.
Oh.
Like, and it was to show like, hey, anybody can come and buy.
Yeah,
my
but you know how shitty that is for the person that actually paid fucking big money for that shit. I'd be mad as fuck.
Nah,
Especially if
really?
you bought them like right before that happened.
It's just like
Mhm.
it's kind of like, all right, idiot. Why are you spending your money on $1,000 clothes that look like shit anyway?
Yeah.
I think if you.
Says the never mind.
I didn't buy. I didn't buy no
Nah.
Yeezy shoes or nothing like that. I'm wearing
I
fucking
don't
Hug.
get the whole
Uggs, or whatever you call
sneakerhead
it.
thing
Hey,
and all that.
dudes.
Doesn't make sense to me, dude. Like
No,
a pair
I
of
mean,
Jordans going for thousands
Yeah,
and
I don't
thousands
mess
of
with that.
dollars.
Yeah, I don't mess with that either. I don't get that. I don't really get that game at the end of the day. Like I like keeping my shoes clean and my stuff nice, but I wouldn't pay no $3,000-$4,000 for a pair of sneakers.
No,
Mm-mm.
can't do it.
That just don't make no sense.
It's
to
hard
me.
to pay 100 or more
I'll
for
pay-
some shoes.
I'll pay like the $500 or $600 mark whenever they're custom to your feet. You know what I mean? Whenever they do that, that's to make them
Mhm.
comfortable. I'll do that, but that's about the most expensive I'll ever go.
I mean, I get it for like custom boots and stuff.
That's
where
what I'm
they really
saying, like
do
custom-
that.
yeah,
That
where they
makes
do-
sense to me.
yeah.
I don't rock boots, but I get why.
I guess too. I would pay probably about. I'll pay a good $1,000 for like a really nice pair of boots, but I couldn't even justify that because I don't wear boots enough.
Yeah.
So I probably would never do that. Probably like on like $200 or $300 on boots, and that's about it. Because that gets expensive, especially if you do
What, boots? Oh, yeah.
custom boots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you actually wear boots pretty often, huh?
Yeah, it depends. I mean,
You was rocking them crocodile ones or whatever the other day.
no. It
What
was,
was those? What are those? It's like alligator or crocodile. What?
yeah, I think it was alligator.
Man, those don't look bad. I like those.
Look, I don't wear. It depends. I got a kind of a fucked up foot on my left foot, so I can't really wear. I gotta. It's a certain.
Yeah, Austin. I always forget about that. Austin's his dude. I don't know why I don't know why.
What?
Like why you don't get like a permanent insert that you could just put in all your shoes.
Because it's a pain in the ass. I have to keep. I mean, you'd have to keep swapping it. I just kind of learned to live with it.
Austin
So
got
basically,
one smaller foot.
Yeah,
than
I got
yeah.
one smaller foot. So like right here, like half of this is like not even.
I don't know how he walks around like that straight out.
But it's mostly got something that if it grabs my ankle, it kind of.
well, ain't that one like a little bit shorter too?
Yeah, but they kind of fixed that when I was little, so it was kind of they had to adjust. They actually cut the good growth plate to let it catch up. Oh yeah, I went through multiple surgeries, but I mean it's okay now. It's kind of one of those things you just learn to live with,
That man Austin, he was getting all surgery. That's why he got so good at doing like playing with engineering stuff and robotics. And all. That dude ain't had nothing else to do. He couldn't go outside play no sports. He had to do something.
Oh shit, I always had surgeries going on.
God, dog, that sucks. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's funny. I mean,
You ain't never got no custom shoes made?
oh yeah, when I was little, I used to. So this is crazy.
Oh, your mom and dad was pissed.
Well, no.
growing
So
up.
look, this is how we. No,
Oh,
look, we used
every
to. We
year.
used to. No, it was crazy. Like the local shoe stores would actually work with us. Like they would give us like, because every time my mom would buy 2 pairs of shoes. So we'd buy the size that I needed, and then we'd buy for this foot, and then we'd buy the size. So they would give us like, buy one, get the other one half off.
Wait, so
like the
you was
feet.
wearing 2 socks?
But, yeah, basically, yeah, half the price, half price.
So wait, you was getting 2 different size shoes growing up?
Yeah, because at that point,
You
like
can't keep up with that if you're doing customs.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So like at a certain point, it became like, okay, look. I guess obviously when I got older, I was like, look, I'm not fucking doing that no more. like fuck all that. Like we're gonna figure out if I could just these are both size 10.
Yeah.
So I just deal with it, but it doesn't. Now that's why I said the boots are a different story, or dress shoes,
Yeah.
because you're a little more stiff and kind of, So
So you have the inserts for that?
what?
You have the inserts for that?
No, I don't have inserts, but that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you'll notice like if I'm walking, you'll hear the boot a little louder. The guys will fuck with me at the shot. They're like, man, pick up your foot. I'm like, bitch, shut up. But I got dragging because it's kind of clanking around a little bit because it's loose. But I mean, no, it's just, you just,
Is it like a size smaller?
Yeah. So, well, actually a couple sizes smaller. I mean, literally, it's probably, when I put my feet together, it's probably like half the size of this one, But
That dude almost didn't even have a foot.
well, no, it's crazy because, instead of, as people always ask me, I still walk kind of, I'll limp a little bit, but
I never noticed it.
for the most part, my legs had kind of caught up after the surgeries because the way they did it, this was all like calculated and timed when I was growing up. And there were certain times when growth spurts and all, when they had to do these surgeries and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, every now and then somebody will say, oh, man, what's wrong? Your legs hurting? You limping? And I'm just like, nah, yeah, it's kind of hurting me a little bit, but I don't get into the whole fucking, let me tell you about my foot side. No,
You should have capitalized. You could have been a kicker for the Saints.
yeah.
And they had that guy with a half a foot
Yeah.
who set all the records.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it had half a foot, so the front was flat. So when he would kick, it just rocketed that bitch. It was like a hammer knocking into it.
Really?
Yeah, so he
like
set all the
Chico.
records. What was that guy's name? Brant would probably know.
Yeah.
Something Dempsey, apparently.
I don't know. That's wild. Why do you even know that? Brandon knows too much shit about Tom Dempsey.
Oh, really?
Oh, the front of his foot was metal. They implanted a.
Well, I
Is
saw the cleat.
that-
It was like, yeah, I saw on the shoe. It was like flat on the front.
Was that legal?
I was about to say, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, so it's his fault. That's why you couldn't be kicker. There you go. Look, he ruined it for
That's
you.
interesting, though. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I just knew that because my brother had a football card
Uh huh.
of that guy, and I was always like, "Why you got half a foot?"
Well, how old was that guy?
I don't know. He's been 5 years old. He's been 6 years old. I don't know.
No, I'm saying like whenever he played.
Oh, probably like in the
Like how long ago?
Yeah.
70s, probably.
Oh, I thought this was like a more
Yeah.
recent thing.
No, this was back in the day.
Yeah, the 70s.
You should have been a kicker before the '70s, Austin. What were you doing?
Shit, wasn't born.
So, for most of your tattoos, you got them in prison or out of prison?
I got some of them. Really, no, most of them are out. But some
I was
of them
about
I
to
got.
say, because if they did, then they had some hell of artwork.
No, yeah, I think this one, that was when I was locked up the last time.
How'd they do it in prison? They really do it with like a paperclip or something?
They do it all kind of different ways. Paper clips, they'll get like staples. And then how we used to do it, because you got to get like the ink, they would like burn, make like a little.
Caps over and kind of like
yeah,
the
and
tar.
kind of like get the.
What do it burn? Like the what it is? It's like either plastic.
They can do, yeah, they do all kind of different stuff. But yeah, the plastic, or sometimes, and I think more in prison, because they can get, maybe they'll get somebody to like bring in like a guitar string or whatever and like make like a whole tattoo gun with like some like a little motor from like a CD player or whatever.
That's
Damn.
Oh, dude, it's
What?
yeah,
Should have engineers in there,
bro,
man.
some of the tattoo art. Really, when I was working in the prison, some of the tattoo like best tattoo artists I've ever seen. Man.
Yeah, no
Yes.
doubt. I mean, they got the
Yeah.
time to practice. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I would say I would. I mean, shit. If that would ever happen, I definitely would learn a badass skill and make sure I come out.
Oh,
with
yeah.
being able to do something.
honestly, what would your skill be? That's what I want to know. What would you pursue? That would be crazy.
What you mean?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of skill. Like, what would you? I mean, you're not gonna do marketing.
For what?
What are they gonna need marketed in?
Oh, I would just
Something in the
teach them how
showers.
to make their own businesses and shit. I guess. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
dude, they got like radio. I don't know if they had a podcast, but I know they got like radio stations in Angola.
Oh,
Like
really?
inmate-run radio stations, and yeah,
But they're letting
You could do a
prisoners just
podcast,
do everything
man.
nowadays, huh?
yeah.
I just saw.
You can get a whole law degree in there, huh?
Yeah, well, no,
Mhm.
I saw the other day they had all the guys. They were just at that festival we were at. I guess they were like helping moving the fencing and all the signs and
Yeah.
all. And half of them were like grabbing food out from one of the vendors. And I was like, damn. I was like, they eating good today compared to what they probably eat.
Oh, it was like trustees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: have you put? I mean, I know the podcast thing's kind of just started, but have you thought about? I mean, I know. I guess that you have to see how it takes off, but have you thought about like the podcast, T-shirt brand kind of thing? Is that something you're going to be trying to drive hard, or is that something, or is this is all just you're just figuring it out? You know,
I was just kind of figuring it out. Because we had done a podcast before, like 3 years ago. It was like me, my brother, and our friend Chris and our friend Glenn. Actually, Chris and Glenn I met when I was at that place, Cinecore, and we all got sober after, and we all, and so, but we did like it was called Sports and Shit, and it was mainly just us talking about parlays that we put in that failed miserably, but we just put like a mic in the middle of a table, and so like we had kind of had an idea to try to do a podcast or whatever, and that was like our first attempt at it. I guess this one is more of like a calculated attempt, I guess you'd say. Like we built a little studio, and but I do, like, I make shirts. Like I give every guest a shirt.
Yeah.
I make a little, with the brand on it, and yeah. I mean, if it's something that can go together, like, yeah.
Because honestly, I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously, your story, is not the only. I mean, there's a lot of people with your similar story.
Right.
And believe it or not, that's the craziest thing. I mean, when you hear this, I mean, a lot of the people are going through the same struggles.
Yeah.
So you got kind of like a unique scenario to where you can help these people
Right.
kind of transition and do better. Because look, I mean, we just did a little thing this past weekend, and it's sad, man. We made, one of the guys at the shop was like, "Hey, can you come help me this weekend? I wanna." They had local, like a kind of like a halfway house, kind of homemade shelter type thing. So
Yeah.
he said, "Man, I want to cook a big meal for him and go bring." So we made 60 plates
Mm-hmm.
and we went drop it off. But man, some of these people's story, they just
Yeah.
some of them are lost, man. And it's kind of like what you were saying. Like at some point, it's almost like they want to give up. But
Right.
at the end of the day, they just need guidance
Right.
and somebody just to kind of push them to that next step to say, "Hey, life ain't over.
Mhm.
You just need that little bit of push or nudge or
No.
Matter of fact, one of the guys that was helping us, his daughter came help us, and she was putting like little inspirational Bible verses on top of each plate. So I was
Mhm.
like, that's a cool touch.
Yeah.
Kind of give them a little inspiration and kind of like a little nudge forward.
Tell
But-
her, give me some inspiration. Give me a little nudge forward. I need that nudge
Get in
forward.
the gym,
right
bro.
now.
That's all the inspiration you need.
I wasn't talking
Fuck.
about
What are we
that. I was
talking about?
I was talking about I just wrecked my truck the
That's
other day on Friday. I need
Oh,
some
he did.
inspiration
Dude
right
did
now.
wreck his truck too, bro. He
Dude.
straight up pull out. He going, look. How you gonna get mad at somebody when you
I
fucking
ain't
pull
mad
out in
at- I
front of them
wasn't I
motherfuckers?
wasn't mad at
I
nobody.
think I heard something about this. What happened?
I
He
just-
hit them. He hit the people, and he's like, "God damn it!" I'm like, "What do you mean, God damn it? Then you ran into her."
Yeah, I was pissed off because they always block our exits to get out of the building.
Yeah.
So one of the cars, they were blocking the exit or whatever. Well, they saw me creeping up and going, so like that was my chance to go. So they finally let me through. The second they finally let me through, after me sitting there for like 10, 15 seconds, I'm talking about like perfect time, and here this car come just flying. And I mean, like, you could see I couldn't see her because these other cars were stacked up, but my truck sits up so high and so big. I know for a fact she saw me.
Yeah.
And if she didn't, it's because she was on her fucking phone or something.
And look, probably
And-
so, but look, I'm gonna tell you, you got to watch right there.
Well,
and
I know
no,
I know what you do.
no, but what I'm saying is, I don't ever look. I tried this one time, and this almost fucked me over huge, dude. I'm looking, and you can't see. Obviously, it's a blind spot. So I went to rely on the person and see if they would wave. Fuck all that. I don't even worry about waving. Look, because technically, that person can't. I mean, look, I almost waved somebody before to kind of help them out. But I was told, like, look, man, don't even do that because they can come back on you and say you
Yeah.
waved them on
Well,
and you caused a wreck. So I kind of
I
don't
just
even do
started
that.
going
I'm
right
kind of
because of that.
The thing
yeah.
was-
Well,
the
no,
thing
it's
was-
so
the
it's
thing
crazy,
about it,
man.
I
You're trying to
wasn't
help
even-
some.
I wasn't even. I laughed at the situation. I wasn't even really mad or anything. The only thing that made me mad and pissed was the girl. I go check on the girl. I'm like, "Oh, hey, are you good? Are you all right? Is everything okay? Like, do you need something?" She's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just like shooken up a little bit. Like you could tell she's like just a little shocked." And so I was like, "All right, like you don't need a hospital or nothing. Like nothing's on you hurting or nothing." She was like, "No, I'm good. Nothing's hurting." I was like, "All right, thank God." I was like, "Good." She calls her dad.
Mhm.
The second she gets off the phone with her dad,
My
she
back's
walks up
hurting.
back to me. My dad says that I need to call the ambulance for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I thought you just said you wasn't hurt or anything. Well, no, now that I talked to him, my back is hurting a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
And
thought about
and now, yeah, I thought, I'm just like, hold on, let me pull my phone out. Let me record before you start saying this again. And I was just like, man, dude, like, that's the thing that pissed me off. Cause like, I got in wrecks before with people where it wasn't my fault. I didn't go after nobody, and who got the fucking time? You know what I was worried about after that? Whenever I got in a wreck, man, this is making me late to my next meeting. I gotta be at. Like, can we get a cop here faster so that I can get the fuck out of here so I can go do what I need to do? Who got time to go sit at the hospital for 2 or 3 hours to go play hooky? Oh, my back is hurting, so they could get an extra little 5, 10K. When it, like Austin said, they just won the fucking lottery off my ass.
Yeah.
Their little redneck lottery, whatever you want to call that. Oh, that
Sheesh.
shit pissed me off. That's the only thing. But like other than that, I wasn't even mad about it.
Yeah.
Like I was just like but it's just like you know what you're doing, and like that's the problem, and that's why insurance companies are so high and everything else is so fucked because we got retards like that just take advantage of the system. And it's
Did you see the well, they just had this on the news this morning I was watching. You seen that whole attorney scheme that they had going on with the 18-wheeler
I saw that.
deal?
I saw that.
Bro, that is wild.
And they arrested
Was
both of the attorneys.
Well, the law firms got investigated, and I think the law firms got sued too.
yeah, no, they got
Well, what it was, they were running this scheme. So these law firms, I believe, they got with these 18-wheeler, these people with these 18-wheelers, and it was a whole thing where they would run these wrecks, and it was kind of all calculated shit. But then they would bring the cases to the attorneys, where the attorneys would work the cases. But it was like a whole scheme, and they just kept making money off of these pre kind of set up wrecks and shit. And dude, they finally figured it out, and they were like, "Nah, fuck all this." And it's crazy because, like, now it's kind of to the point. It's like, okay, is that like the big picture? Is that because now they're saying, look, it kind of put shade on the whole law community because of this deal. Because now you don't know what to believe.
Because
Well,
you
no.
think that's the first
Well,
time they
no,
were
that's
ever
the
doing
first-
that?
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Mhm.
I mean, you're talking about big money and all these. What's the first thing that an attorney says? Oh, if you've been in a big wreck on a truck, check. Come
Call
with
me.
me. Call me. That's the whole fucking.
I mean, that's
The
why they
lingo.
got billboards every 2
Well,
feet with.
yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say lawyers' names because then they're gonna be like, you associating us with that.
Yeah.
But
No.
I mean, their techniques work and all. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the thing that just pissed me off, like I said, is just like don't take advantage of it. Like, yeah, if you got in a bad enough wreck where you really hurt, all right, call the ambulance, do whatever you need to do, like, and then we'll do it. But like, don't fucking make my insurance skyrocket or go up because you want to catch a little extra. Like at the end of the day, we humans too. I'm a human too. Just because I ride around in a big nice truck coming out of facility where we have a big company with a bunch of cranes don't mean that I want to get fucked over, by the system or whatever the case is. And I'm just like, the other thing that pissed me off the hardest was we were nice enough to them people. Oh yeah, bring your car around. We'll let y'all hold it at our shop and let y'all keep it in a parking lot. You know what I should have did? I should have said, fuck you and your car. Go get a tow truck and pay for a tow truck. I don't care. Like, that's what I really should have did. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be petty. I'm gonna be nice about it. But
But you wasn't mad about it, right?
No.
You weren't mad about it.
I wasn't mad at the wreck. I could give a fuck less. Like the wreck and all is just is the point of it. I don't care about the money. I'll spend extra money. I don't care about my truck being messed up. I'll get a rental car or whatever I have to do. My truck, I'm driving my truck around. My truck is fine. It's like all I have to do is replace the bumper and a little quarter panel. But is the basis of the point. Quit trying to take advantage of by doing stupid shit like that. Like, fuck, man, who got time? Like, who got the time to do that? Obviously them. Like,
Yeah.
Damn, man. Tell us how you feel, bro. Be all right.
whatever.
No, but that's the idea of, cause and I guess I kind of go back to your question, cause when we started going into Angola and talking to guys, for one, like I said, it meant a lot to me because that was kind of how I got sober. Not like directly when I got sober, but it made like an impact on me, them guys that would come and talk to us. And that's the whole deal. And I think that's what we want to do with the podcast is give people like that a chance to tell their story. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
because I think that's, you talk about like having fun and can you have fun and be sober? Like, man, I had never been on an airplane before I got sober, and I've got to go all over the place and do different stuff. And
Yeah, I would see how not letting fucking dope heads on a plane would be kind of frowned upon.
well, you're ready to get sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Well,
But no, it's cool.
apart from the was it fun or not?
Right.
How did your family and like them react when you did get sober? Like, what kind of relationships did that open back up for you? What was that experience like?
So it took a little while because I did the in and out thing. Like I would get sober for 6 months, then I would relapse, and I did that for years. And so when I got sober this time, like my sister, I have a younger sister and a younger brother. My brother had been trying to get sober. My sister, she's normal. But so like my sister and my dad, they weren't really, for good reason, weren't really talking to me much. It was really just my mom that I was talking to. And so when I got sober, I think at first everyone's just happy that you're sober and like the nightmare is over, I guess, but like over time, like because I ended up going back to work for my dad probably about 6 months after I got sober. And I worked for my dad for 5 years until I moved on to this new company that I'm at. And my sister just had a baby recently, almost a year ago. And like I get to because I'm off every other Friday at my job, and I get to babysit when I'm off, which like to some people is just like normal stuff. But like to like my sister not even like answering the phone for me 10 years ago to like trusting me to watch her kid for the day, and so that's been cool.
How was it like the transition going back to work for your dad? Did it kind of take a little while for him to? I'm sure you know what I'm saying. Like, did it find? Was it like,
Yeah.
hey, kind of?
Stay away from the fucking
Well,
chest
no,
bugs, Bob.
like,
Yeah.
was it like, hey, I'm going to the pub, we're going to the podcast. All right, well, look, and he's like, all right, we'll see you later, and it's like putting all like 10 locks on the door.
Well, you know,
like,
and-
roll the checks.
Hiding
And
the
what's crazy is so like was a couple years now, but like probably about 3 years ago, somebody had stole some check or like made some checks from whatever they did, and but the bank caught it, and they never got any money, and the dude got arrested, but he was on my friends list, and I don't even know who the dude was. He was on my Facebook. So my dad calls me. He's like, "Hey," and he's like asking all those and like I know what you're trying to ask, and so like I got mad at first, but then like I had to remember like.
But like that didn't happen.
Right, like there's a reason he's asking you these questions.
Man, I can't believe you think I was still.
Right.
Oh wait, I did still.
Right, like just because I've been sober for however many years at the time, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's also cool because like at first you get sober, everyone's just happy you're sober, and they're like kind of still walking on eggshells. But like going back to work for my dad, I remember the first like argument we got into when I was sober working there, and it's like. He would like pause and like, man, maybe I don't, you know what I mean? And but like, because I don't know if any of y'all work with family, but it's tough,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's
100%.
10 times harder working for your family than it is working for just anybody. But it was cool, man. And
I was about to say it's a big learning curve, and a big, like I said, it's crazy because you're telling me this. And I don't mean to laugh, but it is kind of a funny scenario because you're like, don't fucking get mad at me for being pissed off of you accusing me of stealing when I actually stole. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, that's
dude.
Hey,
But
bro.
that's the
That's how you got to make it better.
right,
And
and
you
that's why I say, and like now, like I said, I went from getting arrested at this company to I worked there for 5 years. I got a key to the door now. We do our podcast out of that building, and yeah, I mean a lot of those relationships I wouldn't have got back if I wouldn't have got sober.
That's good, man.
Where you see yourself 5 years from now?
I think doing the same thing I'm doing now. Whether the podcasting takes, because you know my whole thing in getting sober is like I just want to be useful to somebody, you know, and whatever that looks like is what it'll look like in 5 years. You know, if it's a podcast, if it's just still going to the, you know, visit people and talk to them in jail or try to help people that are coming from where I came from. I don't think any of that's going to change. I hope it doesn't, you know what I mean? Because I hope to be doing the same thing I'm doing. I think that's why I'm still sober.
I know you mentioned your wife earlier, but do you have a family now? You have a
So I got divorced 2 years ago, and I had met her probably like a year and a half to 2 years after getting sober, and we were together for 6 years. We were married 2 years. She had 2 small kids, so I got to raise kids and that whole deal, which was cool. It was a lot, but it was, you know.
Right.
And then now we've been divorced for about a year and a half, and I'm with another girl, and we just moved. Like I said, I've been back and forth between Gonzales and Baton Rouge. We just moved back to Baton Rouge, I think 2 months ago. So we're right there by LSU now, and yeah.
nice.
I just had one for him, but I forgot. You just threw me off my track.
So if
Oh,
you
I
could
thought
be
you
any animal, what
That's
would you
what
be?
I was like. Dude, I was waiting on it. That's exactly. You knew I was about to. How you knew I was about to ask that?
Because you asked where you see yourself in 5 years. I was like, oh, he's getting to the standard
Yeah,
question.
because I forgot we didn't say it, so I was like, all right, ask it. There you go.
Okay, so we've been asking this lately of our guests, just because usually at the beginning, but I guess we forgot today. If you could be any animal, what would you be, and why? Why that animal?
So when you asked that question, my first thought was shark. But here's the deal: like I hate, like the ocean terrifies me. You know what I mean? And that's probably why I said like shark or something like. So yeah, I'm gonna just go with shark, man. You know?
Why?
Just because they're badass. You know what I mean?
Fucking eat shit.
That's an honest answer
Yeah,
right
man,
there.
straight up.
He's not like, oh, they're majestic.
They
and
got,
they're like, he's
they
like,
got
they're
scars.
badass, dog.
I think for me, it's more the fear of like the environment than it even is the shark. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get too deep on like what kind of animal you want to be, but
This-
like, you know what I mean? That's what I think of.
It sounds like you got some thalassophobia. I got that. Fear like
Yeah.
open water, dark water, stuff like that.
It's
What's down
just-
there?
Well, yeah. What do they say? Like we've only explored like 10% of the
Oh,
oceans
I don't
in
even
the
think
world.
it's that much. I think it's
Yeah,
only like
so, man, ain't no
I
telling
want to say
what's
like
down
2
there.
or 3% of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like they discovering new stuff all the time,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the deep parts. Then we don't even know about a lot of that stuff, but we just getting equipment to be able to actually visit those depths
Right.
through like robots and stuff like that. I still don't think we have any like submersible capsules that we could put humans in yet to go
Yeah,
up
we
to
do.
too
Yeah,
low.
so
No, we had that went to the
I
bottom.
think there's a
Mariana
company that was trying to develop,
Yeah,
but
it didn't go well.
too soon.
No, but I'm saying, yeah,
Nice.
no. I mean, I have 4 or 5
James
years.
Cameron, he went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench in his capsule, but his wasn't on a Xbox controller, like or
With carbon
Logitech
fiber,
controller.
yeah.
like
Not
those
even
guys
pressure
were.
tested. Dude, every pressure test that they ran on, if you ever watch the documentary, failed.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I knew about that. I knew that was a bad idea
You know,
because
like,
he did
just
it.
Get some
You know, he did
millionaires
it
in here,
right."
man. We'll figure
But
it
that's
out.
crazy. Like you think about when you get to that point, you're like,
No,
hold up, wait, this stuff's being controlled by what?
No,
Yeah, yeah.
the dude.
Hold on,
I
a
did-
Logitech controller?
Mhm.
Time out.
If you really think about it, though, the dude got what he wanted. He was so obsessed with the Titanic and all. He wanted to become a part of the history of the Titanic.
Well, he got it.
That's
Up
what
and
that's what
close.
a lot of people say.
Yeah, that's a little wild.
That is the biggest event of the Titanic
Yeah.
since the Titanic.
Yeah.
You know.
When that's like
Except that movie.
when they have them big tsunamis and stuff, and like all those, they'll find like however many new fish and all the stuff that gets swept up from the bottom.
I didn't even realize that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Japan
just like
all the
washed
time.
up after.
Yeah, they'll find all kind of new species of stuff that they never seen before just because it got washed up from the bottom. You know, places they hadn't been.
That's crazy.
No, you got to remember, like the giant squid and colossal squid. They thought those were myths for so long. They didn't catch them on video until what was like 2004 was the first time they caught one on video. You know, and they'll see them like washed up and stuff, but that's the first time they saw one like actually in the wild, and it was off some oil rig or something. They had a camera down there, and it
Yeah.
went by,
That's
grabbed
why.
on some stuff.
That's like kind of crazy because
Mhm.
the oil rigs, boy, that's like them shark. That's a shark's paradise.
Well, that's why you go to the Audubon Aquarium. That's why it's Audubon, right?
In New Orleans?
In New Orleans,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole like the big exhibit at the end is supposed to be the bottom of like an oil rig.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they modeled it
I
after
never,
that.
I never really been. I never went to the aquarium since like I was probably like a kid. So
You gotta go. That's a badass.
No, yeah, I
aquarium,
know,
man.
And
no,
the
I know.
D-Day Museum, bro.
yeah.
Oh,
bet
yeah.
on-
Yeah,
I
hey,
go
look,
there.
That's the
it-
best
Dude, the
museum
Tom
I've ever been
Hanks
to.
4D
I've been
thing.
I've been there a couple of times because we
Yeah.
go to a couple events, and every
But it's
time they
grown.
have the
I ain't been
events,
since I've been in school.
well, every
but-
time we had the event over there, are you talking about the World War II
Yeah,
museum,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
D-Day Museum.
So they like just updated now, and every time they have an event over there, so like the inside of that place, people don't even realize that's where like the old train station used to run, and
Mhm.
they turned that part
Yeah.
of the train station like as a part of the inside of the building. It's badass. Like
Mhm.
they really did some cool shit.
Well, it's cool because they used to make those boats, like the ones that went up
Yeah,
on
the Higgins,
Normandy
Mhm.
Higgins boat.
in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which
Well,
was cool.
they actually make a bunch of cool
Right.
shit. They just had that boat company, Metal Shark, that got sold out right there in what is Patterson or Franklin, like in between somewhere right there, and they just got sold out to a big military contractor. Who took them over? It wasn't Anthrop.
No,
wanna
I
say
don't
nothing
remember
crazy.
who it
I don't
was.
know.
But
I'm trying to remember. It was whatever president was at the time said if it weren't for that Higgins boat and
Yeah.
Higgins from Louisiana, that we never would have won the war because we wouldn't have been able to. D-Day wouldn't have been successful because it
transport
was
all that
that
well.
tube system they had underneath, so that they could ride it all the way up onto the shore.
Yeah.
That was the big deal.
Imagine being on the other side of the battle for that.
Or being on really any side of that.
Mhm.
That's great. When they just let that big door down and it's like, go.
Well, now they got the hovercrafts. You ever seen one of those things?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, they can carry tanks. They're huge. I got to go like walk on one, and they hover like 12 feet off the ground.
yeah, but now they got these tanks that are pretty much amphibious to begin with. You
Yeah.
can throw the whole tank in the water and it just.
My thing about it is like how they used to fight wars, like the proper way or whatever. I don't even know how them dudes even like got up to go and fight. Like I would have never fought a war like
It's
that.
because you couldn't face it if a big line of that many rifles is pointed at you and you got like a couple rifles or you're disorganized. It's just a wall of bullets. So that was the thing. They keep exchanging. But the second you split it all up with how slow those muskets were, it just wasn't as effective because of how inaccurate they were, right? You got one guy with a rifle, he's shooting, the bullet might go that way, you know? But if you've got a whole wall of 50 guys and they all fire at once, you're hitting something, you know?
I get
So
where
it was
you- I
just
get where you're coming
overwhelming firepower.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with it, but like, why would y'all even want to like line up and just willingly like
That's
wait
why
for
they
them
did
to
the
shoot?
draft, man.
Mhm.
You had to go.
Dude, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, usually, I mean, they fire a couple volleys and then the other team just runs until the U.S. and we started using guerrilla tactics
Mhm.
and catching them on the road.
Well,
It
we didn't-
eliminated
we
that.
didn't start. Well, yeah, we did start, but why did we start? Didn't we get that? I thought Vietnam was really
I
the
think
people
so.
that started guerrilla tactics.
Or I think that's when
The
it started.
term guerrilla, because it's a French word, I mean,
Uh-huh.
is not guerrilla
Right.
like brand. It's like guerre means war. It means battle, I think.
If
So
not,
that's just where it
somebody's
comes
gonna check
from.
you on it. They'll tell you. They'll tell you
I got
what
a
you did
degree
not.
in French. I should know what that word means.
yeah.
Yeah, guerre is war. That's what that means. So guerrilla, it's a variation of it. So it just means war tactic. But it was really not fighting in a line, not fighting in organized, coming out the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we got it from the I think it was the Native Americans, from how they fought.
Yeah,
Because
that makes sense.
Yeah, they weren't like charging at you like
Mhm.
that. They were popping out the trees and catching you that way. So Washington and them were like, well, we don't have the firepower or the manpower to fight that way, like traditionally. So let's try it this way. I mean, I know the movie The Patriot is not
Well, no, it's a good
it's not the
example.
most
a-
accurate movie, but it is pretty much.
It's a good example
went
of how
down.
that worked. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I mean, what they did, they took out a whole infantry with just
Mhm.
him and his two sons firing off the ledge of the
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Whenever they did
Yeah.
that at the beginning, like right
Pretty
after
much.
they kill his oldest son, he's like, "Here, y'all two girls, stay here." And then like he grabbed his two younger sons. Dude, he was just like literally reloading, and his two sons were just popping
Mm.
people left and right. That shit was badass.
So
I
I
actually
wanna
didn't
rewatch
watch.
that movie.
Yeah, I
I mean,
didn't rewatch. I watched it like 7 times, but I didn't
That
rewatch
kind
it
of
again.
makes sense. You ask why they would do that line. I mean, if that's the army coming at you, it's like a phalanx, like the Romans used to do, right?
Mhm.
If you just have scattered guys coming from every direction trying to do that, you're not breaching that phalanx. Same thing. You got the line like this with your guns all pointed out and they all start trying to come at you from every direction, they're getting mowed down before they can get to you. So the only way to meet them is to have a bigger line that's more well organized and face them.
Not really, because
Just-
I mean, you can always attack from the side or come from behind, or
And then the
whatever.
line goes like this, and they shoot that way. It's the same thing, you know. So
I hear you.
yeah, like what's the alternative? It's not like they had anything that could
Fly
fight it.
over and just
Yeah.
boom.
exactly. You had to get within 30 yards to be able to be effective with weapons.
They have no F-18s
Yeah.
like Tim's driving.
And have Timbo coming at them.
Yeah, Tim Bone.
History lessons. You learn stuff on the Wolf Den podcast.
I don't like that.
And a little bit of French from Monsieur Dunkin.
A little bit.
Oui,
Petit
oui.
Oh, is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't cover on the podcast that you have coming up, or any kind of endeavors or anything like that?
I mean, the next episode for our podcast, we got Jeff Vance. He's a comedian and out of Gonzales, and he also started Lunchbox Comedy, and so he puts on comedy shows and stuff. We're actually recording his tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to check it out and follow us, and you can do that, and I'll have my clothing line and the custom shirt line. All that's kind of tied into the Facebooks and everything too.
Well, go ahead and look at that camera right there and let everybody know where they can kind of find you at.
All right, you can find us on TikTok. Just look up Louisiana Legends Podcast. You can find us on Facebook the same way, Instagram, all of them under Louisiana Legends Podcast.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yep. Appreciate
That was
you.
good, man.
What was our run